Thank you very much. As Maestro said, I'm standing in for Professor John Lewis, my boss, who's unable to make it today, but I have put together just a brief presentation as requested, just to give you a bit of background about Durham Energy Institute. We are an energy institute at Durham University that covers all forms of energy research that is undertaken at the university as well. So not only do we do the scientific, the technical, but we also do the social sciences side. So, next slide. So what we're interested in is addressing all of the global energy challenges. We are world leading in wind energy. We partner with Ørsted. Smart energy, we have a smart grids lab, and we work with researchers and organisations across the world, looking at smart energy solutions, not only electrical but also heat. We're part of the Centre for Energy Systems Integration, so we work very closely with CESI. We're part of the North East Centre for Energy Materials as well, so we collaborate with other universities as well, looking at future energy materials and different use of materials for energy solutions. We also have researchers in economics, business, geography, geology, looking at all sorts of political situations around the world and trying to understand how to make everything work better. And also looking at the conventional power systems and their distribution, how to make those more efficient. And finally, John Lewis is here to speak about geoenergy, carbon capture and storage, so he's a national level leader in that. So our USP would be energy science and society. So we try and bring together researchers in the technical side as well as the social sciences side. We're looking at how people demand, behave, what they can be doing, what the situations are overseas, what we can learn from, and what we need to do to improve solutions across the world. We look at energy policy and ethics, and look at future scenarios as well. Next. So geoenergy, which is what we're going to look at today, we look at all of those different aspects, largely in our sciences department, but also looking across the politics side, at the anthropology side, so actually how people should use them. And it was this aspect as well, reaching out to our local environment as well. We started looking at how we could use mine water and our local geothermal energy in order to benefit our communities. So we've set up quite a few community-based masters projects as well, so we've got students going and working in communities to try and see what we can do to try and decarbonise them, what their views are, and what their responses would be to different technologies. So, I'm not carrying on talking to you before, but there's a video that I'm going to show now, which was made by our local MP, Helen Goodman, and this was promoting geothermal energy and mine water energy in Parliament early this year. Okay.
Geothermal energy is a unique opportunity to build industry in communities where it is often missed out most. Building on the history and the tradition of our collieries, but with a new industry that is clean, safe and can provide both energy and jobs where they are needed.
Currently, the former mine workings are treated as a £3 billion liability for the taxpayer because they have to be kept safe. But these could be turned into a massive stream of income for the British taxpayer.
Geothermal energy is the heat contained within the earth.
The UK has a legacy of abandoned coalfields which are now flooded with water, and they underlie around about 30% of the UK's housing stock. That flooded abandoned mine contains water that we can take heat from and use that to heat homes and businesses.
This is a huge carbon-free energy resource for this country.
It sounds really exciting when you think about it.
The scale of the resource is absolutely phenomenal. The Coal Authority have completed maps of 23,000 former collieries, and they have a very good understanding of the geology, the engineering and the feasibility of these schemes. In business terms, this represents a business or a sector which would have a turnover of about £2.5 billion a year. It could also be a source of jobs, especially in the former coalfield communities, which are still suffering economic decline and need regeneration.
It's nice to think that we actually using our mines. Yes, they were dirty, they were nasty, awful places to work, but the comradeship down the coal mine was nothing like it anywhere else.
And just thinking that that legacy that was so hard won by the miners that created it could be reused to solve a potentially looming energy crisis in future is a really powerful thing for me.
In 2004, the Department of Trade and Industry estimated that this sector could create 1 million jobs. Let's just compare it to the 300,000 jobs in the oil and gas sector.
Geothermal energy could fit beautifully into the UK energy mix. One of the problems we've witnessed with the transformation of the UK power system into wind and solar generated material is that the wind doesn't always blow and the sun doesn't always shine, but the earth is always hot, and so it provides great base load, something which those two other energy forms cannot do.
The project we've been doing in Spennymoor is really exciting. We identified that there was potential new housing development in the area, and we also know this is a mining town and has a great mining legacy. The Coal Authority currently pump water out of a site near the development site, and that water is warm enough for us to use in a heating system.
I just see it as something positive, and it is putting something back into Spennymoor, and if it does create cheaper energy, that's absolutely brilliant. You know.
The work we did was a feasibility study, so it just identified the potential. So now this needs to be taken forwards. We need to encourage developers to adopt this technology and encourage the local community to see the potential that this has to offer.
To meet our next carbon budget, it is essential to decarbonise heat. And yet, in the government's 160-page clean growth strategy, there is not a mention of geothermal.
We need to just develop these systems. We have the technology, we know how to deal with abandoned mines, we know how to use the engineering systems that we need, so we just need to do it.
And we're putting something back. You know, we've taken the coal out, we've used it for whatever, but now we're going to use the water.
We will pursue this because it is important and it could be very productive for this country.
Thank you very much. So yes, we will pursue this. I've just had a quick flick through of the documents we've produced today, and I don't think it's mentioned in there either. So the research is there, the technology is there, and it really is an opportunity for us to decarbonise